Today's question is write a program in Java to input a number and find the sum of digit. Okay. So let's take an example. Suppose user enter the number is 257. It is 257. So we are going to add the individual digit of this inputted number. That is the sum of digit like this 2 plus 5 plus 7 and it becomes 14. So 14 is the answer for this question. Okay. Let's see how we can solve this problem by using the Java. You can see I have already declared three variables. One is num, where actually the number entered by the user is stored, and rest and other variable is r, and another variable is sum, which is initialized by 0, where sum is basically stored the sum of the digit. Okay, so in the Java programming, whenever we are going to sum up any kind of value, the variable always be initialized by 0. In this portion while loop, you can see I am just using the digit extraction technique, and by using the digit extraction technique the loop will continue up to the last digit, and that's why I'm writing the num is greater than 0 and the r equals to num mod 10. And in this technique actually the individual digit of an inputted number is generated in the variable r from the reverse order. It means from the last digit to the then middle digit, then the first digit, in this way. And then the digit will sum up in the variable sum, and the num is decrease, num equals to num by 10. It is actually work as a decrement of this loop. Okay, then after the completing the loop, I'm just print the sum of digit. So let's see how it is work. So I'm going to dry run this program first. So in the step 1, you can see the num initial value if it is entered by the user is 257, then num equals to 257 and r equals to num modulo 10. So 257 modulo 10, so r becomes 7 and sum equals to sum plus r. The initial value of sum is 0, so 0 plus 7 and it becomes 7. So sum value becomes 7. Now num equals to num by 10. Okay, the num is 257, so 257 is going to divide by 10 and it becomes 25. So you can see in this step the value of the num variable is decreased. So in the last line of the while loop, it act as a decrement. In the next step, that is step 2, the num is now current value of num is 25 and r equals to num modulo 10. So num is 25. So 25 mod 10, it becomes 5 and sum equals to sum plus r. The previous value of sum is 7. So 7 plus 5, so it becomes 12 and num equals to again going to divide by 10. So num value is 25. So 25 divided by 10. So num becomes 2. In the next step, in step 3, num as the num value is the value of num variable is 2, so r equals to num mod 10. So it means 2 mod 10, so it becomes 2 and sum equals to sum plus r, and the previous value of sum is 12, so 12 plus 2 it becomes 14. Now num equals to num by 10 and as the num is 2, so 2 divided by 10, so the quotient becomes 0. In the step 4, you can see the value of the num is become 0. So loop will only execute up to the value when num is greater than 0. So final condition is mismatched and it exit from the loop. And then after the system.out.println is going to execute and the value of sum in the step 3 already became 14, and which is the exactly same as the sum of digit for the inputted number 257, which is 14. Okay, now you can see I have already taken the number entered by the user in the variable num. Okay, in this portion I am just taking the number input from the user, and then after initialize the sum with 0, then incorporate the concept of the digit extraction and then the sum will generate in this portion, and then after just print the sum. Now I'm going to run this program and I'm just entering the same value 257, so it becomes 14. I'm just going to run the program again and enter the value, suppose 3256. So 3256, so 3 plus 2 it becomes 5, 5 plus 5 it become 10, and 10 plus 6 is become 16. So the sum of digit must be 16. Let's see. Yes, the sum of digit is 16. So in this way, basically, the sum of digit program is solved in Java programming language. Write a program in Java to input a number and find the product of successors of even digit of the number entered by the user. Okay. So let's take an example. So example is like this: 2745. So the even number of even digit is 2 and 4, which is present in the number entered by the user 2745. Okay, because 7 and 5 is not the even digit, so the 2 and 4 are the even digit, and the successors means the next number of the 2 and 4. So successor of 2 and 3, like this 3 and 5, right? So even digits are 2 and 4, and the successor of even digit 2 and 4 is 3 is for 2 and 5 is for 4. So the product of the even digit successor is 3 into 5, and it becomes 15. Okay, so let's see. Okay, this is the code where I'm just declaring the variable num, where actually the number entered by the user basically stored, and r and prd equals to 1. As I'm just going to find out the product value, and that's why I'm just initialize the prd variable with 1, and again I just implement the concept of the digit extraction program, and that's why I'm using the while loop where the num is greater than 0. So until the num is becomes 0, the loop will continue, and the individual digit from the right hand side, it means from the last of the digit, then next and then first one. So from the last of the digit in the reverse order, the individual digit of the inputted number is generated in the variable r, and then after I'm going to check whether the r is even or not. If it is even, then I'm going to find out the product value or multiplication value with the next successor of this number, and that's why I'm just adding 1 to the r. Okay, if the 2 is as you can see, the 2 is an even digit, so next successor of 2 is 3, so 2 plus 1, so it becomes 3, and then I just decrease the value by of num by num equals to num by 10, and then after the completing the loop, I'm just print the product value outside the loop. Now let's see how this program actually works. So I'm going to try run this program. So in the first step, in the step 1, the num, if it is entered by the user, is 2745, then the num equals to 2745, and 2745 obviously greater than 0, and so loop will continue. So r equals to num modulo 10, and num value of num is 2745, so 2745 modulo 10, so and r became 5, and r if is r modulo 2, it means 5 modulo 2, it is not equals to 0 because 5 is not a even digit, so product is remains 1, which is basically initialized before starting the loop, and then num equals to num by 10, so 2745 divided by 10, and the num becomes 274. In the step 2, the initial value of num variable is 274, and r becomes num modulo 10, so 274 modulo 10, and the value of r is generated 4. Now in the if condition r modulo 2, it means the 4 modulo 2 equals to 0, so it is a even digit, so prd equals to prd into r plus 1. So initial value of PRD is 1. So 1 into 4 plus 1, and 4 plus 1 means 5. So 1 into 5, and the value of PRD become 5. Then num equals to num by 10. So in the step 2, the value of num is 274. So 274 divided by 10. So the value of num become 27. In the step 3, the num is 27, so r equals to num mod 10, so 27 mod 10, and the value of r becomes 7, and as r is not an even number, so in the if condition within the loop, 7 mod 2 is not equals to 0, so it is not going to execute the prd statement, which is actually prd equals to prd into r plus 1, and PRD remains same, which is actually basically in the step 2 PRD is 5. So in the step 3, PRD remains same, it is 5, and then after num equals to num by 10, so 27 by 10, so num become 2. In the step 4, as the num value of num is 2, so r equals to num mod 10, so 2 mod 10, so the value of r become 2, and if condition which is present in the while loop satisfied, because 2 modulo 2 equals to 0, because 2 is a even digit, so PRD equals to PRD into r plus 1 will execute, and as the value of r right now is 2, so and the previous value of PRD which is in the basically step 3 is 5, so 5 into 2 plus 1, and 2 plus 1 becomes 3, so 5 into 3 it becomes 15. Okay, now num equals to num by 10, so 2 divided by 10, and the value of num becomes 0. In the step 5, as you can easily see that the value of num is become 0, so the final condition of the loop, it is num greater than 0, actually not satisfied, and that's why it the control comes out from the loop, it means exit from the loop, and then the system.out.println is going to encounter, and it's print the PRD, and you can see in the step 4 PRD already become 15, and which is exactly the correct value of for this program. So you can see I have already taken the number entered by the user in the variable num in this portion, you can see. Okay, then after I'm just followed up the all the steps which is written in previously. So just I'm going to run the program and enter the number. So I'm just enter the value 2745. So the even digit present in this number is 2 and 4, so successor is 3 and 5 respectively, so product of the even successor digit are like this 15. Okay, and now I'm going to run the program again and enter the value like this 4 6 1 8 9. So the 4 is a even digit, 6 and the successor of the 4 is 5, and 6 is a even digit, and the successor of the 6 is 7. 1 is not a even digit, it's odd, and 8 is a even digit, so successor of 8 is 9, and 9 is not a even digit. So 3 digits are found basically in this number are even. One is 4, another one is 6 and 8, and their successor are respectively like this 5, 7 and 9. So 5 into 7 into 9 is going to multiply it, and let's see the result is generated or not. Yes, it is 315, which is the multiplication value of the successor of 4 5, and the successor of 6 7, and the successor of 8 9. So 5 into 7 into 9 is equal to 315.